So this game was against a team that I played for, I think last year a bunch. They cut their goalie after like the second game against, and then I subbed in for them a lot after that. And a bunch of the players on this team are friends or like know a lot of guys on my team. So it kind of becomes strange games just in terms of like what people try to do. Because when you're playing against people who you're kind of friends with and like hang out with afterwards and stuff like that, games become a little less defined hockey. So we'll see how that works at like when I'll talk about this at the end of it. So a slightly different thing here. These are the Cortec like base layers, and the idea of them is to help with like growing poles and your hips and everything. And they have a tightened piece. You can see how this material doesn't really stretch a lot, and it's really tight and it really holds your hip and like legs in place. This stuff, I've used it for years under different branding. They used to be under Under Armour, and has saved me multiple times in games, especially towards the end of this and playoffs, where I pulled my groin and I wouldn't have been able to play without these things. So Cortec sent me a pair of these I'll do a full review on them and everything, but if you're interested in Cortec stuff, and they really help with the groin and like stopping injuries from getting worse and preventing them. They have a less tight version as well. This is a 1.0, the other ones are a 3.0. There's a link to Cortec in the description. If you use my coupon code, you get a discount, as well as it supports the channel. So you get protective base layer stuff that I wear all the time and honestly really need to keep my groin intact. So it supports the channel as well. So check those out. Otherwise, if you want to support the channel without buying anything, check out links in the description to Patreon, buy me a coffee. Everything through there comes again back into the channel so I can make more content and doing real reviews.
Yo, ready for this?
So as you could see, this was a bad game for me, and for like kind of a general hockey game itself, it was a lot of goal scoring, as you could see. But overall, it was really sloppy, and it was really just kind of until like at the end, the team's like, oh, actually, we're losing. We need to do something about this. And then they scored a bunch of goals, and we ended up winning, which is a good thing. But you could tell like when the switch went on my team, we're like, okay, we actually have to try here. So that's just kind of how it is. The first goal, I was just totally deked out on the breakaway. I find it always really hard to make a breakaway save right in the beginning of the game. Like you don't really do those in warm-ups and stuff, and that happened, so that was kind of rough. Second goal was also a breakaway, and on someone who scores on me all the time. And he does this stupid slap shot on breakaways, and he scores really badly here. And I figured him out in the future, but this was a perfect case of like I'm not square to the puck, I'm square to his body. And I just played it totally wrong. So he takes a slap shot. He has a wide open net on that side because I'm not square to actually where the puck is. So I actually figured him out later, and he played against him a bunch later on in the year and made a bunch of saves. So it wasn't really an issue. So the third goal was a scramble all around and a guy kind of out in the slot, and it actually hits my D's stick. And I believe it goes lower on that than where it kind of was going anyways. It hit, I believe, right here on my glove and kind of tilts down and goes in over my pad. And that was like a tip on my D, but I should have had that one, and it was frustrating. I was all over the place. It was a scramble. I never got set, and I never could get set for that play either. So the fourth goal was off my teammate's skate. He was so in tight that I just played shot all the way. I knew there's a guy like traveling back. As you can see, he's like at the top of the circle, but he wasn't a general threat right away, and I felt like I could slide over and make a move. But the guy next to the net, he's like put some really in tight on me and scored a couple goals on me before, so I wanted to play him outright, and I did, but unfortunately it goes off my D's skate and goes in. And then this is probably one of the worst goals I've let in like a long time, and I don't even know how I did this. Guy shoots it, I try to catch it and blocker it at the same time. I guess I try to get it like this, and I miss, and it just whiffs and goes right through me. And after this went in, I was like, I don't know what happened there. Like, I don't know how that went in. So it did, and it was really ugly, but luckily it didn't really matter or anything. After this goal, my team kind of woke up and started playing hockey again and kind of took control of the game. So that was always a nice thing. And then they scored 4 straight unanswered goals. So that's always a nice thing to be on the goaltending side of things. But yeah, this was not a great game for me and kind of for my team until they woke up. So I made a couple decent saves though, but it is what it is. This I think is the last game of me using the Optik 2 set. I've said that a couple times now, but I'm pretty sure this is the actual last time. I am going to sell this set, so if you're interested in it, reach out to me or just be on a lookout. I'll post it on the YouTube channel and all those socials of when it's actually for sale. But this set will be for sale. I wanted to keep this set for a while to do an Optik 3 review, but like in comparison review, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get an Optik 3 set to check out against this. So I just got to move on for it because they're not getting any use, and it's time to move on.
You're watching HockeyReviews.ca.